What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content, and it's finally come and gone. Greninja Community Day was here today, well, yesterday if you're watching the video when it airs, but a fan favorite, Greninja. Dude, that shiny is beautiful. And we got Water Shuriken and Hydro Cannon on Greninja as well. And here I've put it to the test in the Ultra League, where I think that Greninja is the best. Out of all the metas, I think that Ultra League is where it's going to fit the best. So let's take a look at these battles and see how I've played Greninja in the Ultra League. Getting into this first battle here, we're going to have my Galarian Weezing on the lead. Now, I wanted a hard answer to Grass, Fighter, and Charm. And so a Poison type typically handles all three of those, which is why it's good to have one paired with your Greninja. And I went for Weezing because I wanted just a super hard answer to something like Virizion and something that could still tangle with something like Tapu Fini. Now, here's the deal. I originally had Play Rough. I wished I had Brutal Swing. And then I put Brutal Swing on, and half the time I wished I had Play Rough. So you could use either one and be fine. I put my Double in the back on the safe swap because I love my Double. If you don't have a Double yet, you're still working on your XL candy, you can use Cobalion and it'll do just as fine. Now, you may notice behind me, I put some foam up. I'm working on reducing the echo. It probably still sounds echoey in here anyway. And the foam is revolting, so you'll probably see it fall behind me as we continue through this video. I'm going to be putting some nails in these things because they've all, I think at least every single one of these black ones has fallen down at least once on me. So anyway, so Jellicent here is going to go straight for Surfs, and I'm going to go for my Payback here. Payback is absolutely necessary on Double. Look, there it went. See? It's on the floor. You just saw him fall. It's ridiculous. I'm going to get some nails. Payback is necessary on Double because you can't be walled by something like Giratina. I don't understand why someone would want to use Wild Charge on a save swap. I get it, like Charizard, but I don't know. I think that Body Slam puts enough pressure on it. My opponent makes a really nice catch here. I have two shields, and this is what you want to do with Greninja if you're playing Greninja, right? It's the best sweeper, in my opinion, in the Ultra League, okay? I would put it on par with Shadow Charizard. It's that good. The thing with Greninja, though, is you have to be able to give yourself a way to give it shields and or a huge energy advantage. So what I've put together here in this team is Weezing with Overheat. Just about anything that Greninja doesn't have fun with, I can probably pull shields on it if I'm careful enough. And then Double also, if opponent tries to fight for switch advantage or, you know, anything of the sort, they're going to have to deal with Greninja. Now, not even Clefable, a pure fairy type Pokemon, can handle Greninja up a shield. I'm going to show you why. Because Hydro Cannon two-shots it. Stay hydrated, folks. Now, I'm playing a bit safe here. I'm going to go for the Overheat. Just take out the Clefable here. Greninja absolutely could have finished that game off for me, but I decided to just play it safe and go for the Weezing. So, Virizion lead. I love this. This is where you have to see it. The opponent swaps into a Charizard. I swap in my Greninja, and you would think this is a hard counter, but I'm an idiot, and I played this wrong. And I don't know. I think I saw a little lag, but it might have just been visual. Goodness, there's all, this is a pile of foam behind me. Goodness, it's ridiculous. It's like playing Whack-A-Foam. That's what I've been doing all night. So I shield up here, and unfortunately, I miscounted the Charizard's energy here. So I, for some reason, thought it was 5-4, 5-4, but when you put in the Blast Burn, apparently it's 4-4 to the next two Dragon Claws. So I miscounted, and I lose Switch here, almost. I'm able to go for a charge move at the very end here. I should have just gone for the Hydro Cannon. I mean, both moves will KO the Charizard, so it's fine. So my opponent wins Switch. So if they have a hard answer to my, if they have a hard answer to me in the back, I just get RPS now and I lose. So it's all going to depend what my opponent has in the back behind this Virizion. So we're going to see what they come in with. The Virizion comes in, I come in with my Weezing because that's all I got. My opponent's got a Alolan Sandslash. And all I have to do here now is overfarm just a bit, make sure they don't get to the move. And we've got one-shotting. That's so beautiful. And then Overheat will be enough to take out this Virizion with two of them, or if I can, you know, do the Overheat plus like a Body Slam or something. Like it's very close. But I should be able to get to two Overheats here pretty easily because this person is running Leaf Blade on their Virizion, and I just go for the CMP because I don't know if they're at 2 or 3 or what they're at. So I just go for it. We're going to take out this Virizion, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. And like I said, I wish I had Play Rough. Like, especially when I see Poliwraths and stuff, like, I just wish I had Play Rough. But, so here we get an opponent with a Galarian Weezing in the lead as well. I have to be careful here. I'm going to just go for an overheat. My opponent makes an amazing catch. Very good catch from my opponent here, just out of absolutely nowhere. They maxed out on energy, but now I'm going to come in with my Greninja here and start getting myself going. I'm going to go for Night Slashes here. Obviously, Hydro Cannon is resisted, so I don't want to go for resisted damage. And what I'm looking to do here is I want to come out of here with some extra energy so that I can threaten the Weezing with some damage as soon as they come in. Because even if they're running Play Rough, right, or Overheat, or whatever they're running, I still have to be mindful that Greninja's a Glass Cannon. It's not bulky by any means. It really thrives in situations where there's low fast move pressure, and it has shields. And it's so spammy now with the new Water Shuriken, which is basically the same thing as a pre-buffed rollout, and we get a boost, which makes this Hydro Cannon almost lethal. So I'm going for it right away. I win CMP against... It's coming down. There's another one coming down above me. You're not going to see it because it's going to go behind my desk, but it's just inching down towards... There. It's just inching towards me. The adhesive that they sold me is garbage. So make sure that if you guys have any, I would ask for, I would ask for recommendations, but I'm literally just going to buy a pack of nails tomorrow and just smack them all into the wall. I don't care. I'm not putting up with this. And yeah, because I thought I made it look kind of nice. It was all checkered and cool and nice. Gonna put a rug in here before the next video, hopefully. Brutal Swing is going to get shielded. My opponent did want to preserve their Weezing, and I come in with my double here. I have no idea what they have in the back, but the Overheat does hit, and they have a Swampert in back, which is kind of scary here. And I have to be careful, because an Earthquake would one-shot my Weezing. So I'm going to go for as many Body Slams as my little double can. And my opponent goes straight for a move here. I think this is Hydro Cannon, so I'm going to let it go. And it is a Hydro Cannon. We do live it. So I'm going to go for one more Body Slam here before they can either farm me down or take me out. I have my shield still. I just need to get to a Brutal Swing at this point to take out the opponent's Swampert. And I have a feeling that they're going to try to bait me here because I still have a shield. So I'm going to let this... Or no, I'm going to shield this. I think I did these battles a few hours ago, so forgive me. My memory is gone. Dad brain, right? So taking out with the Brutal Swing, I just... Oh! Now the Weezing comes in. Oh my goodness. I've completely botched this whole game. All right, here's the transition. All right, never mind. Forget it. Forget it. Galvantula lead. Well, so once again, just like you guys saw in my Legend run video, I usually expect there to be a Mandibuzz and or a Jellicent in the back. So Greninja should be having a great time here. Doubles here in case I need it. Weezing would be nice to preserve it if I can, but I'm going to bait because my, Weezing typically runs Overheat. Like, you should always expect it to run Overheat. So Brutal Swing is going to get the shield, and because I have so much extra energy, this is the key thing about energy management, folks, is if you're able to properly farm it up, you can one-shot a Galvantula just like that. Now, my opponent's got Pidgeot. I safe swap immediately, thinking that they might come in with, like, Jellicent or Mandibuzz, so I was like, all right, I'll just preserve this, and I'll swap out. My opponent comes in with a Pidgeot, and even if this is a Brave Bird, I'm not going to shield it, because I want to save that shield for Greninja. But they throw Feather Dance. Pidgeots are extremely readable. They almost always just want to throw Feather Dance. Even the next one, if it's a Brave Bird, I'm not going to shield it. The opponent will be so low by this point that a Hydro Cannon would absolutely destroy this Pidgeot. I think a Hydro Cannon, if I'm not mistaken, does just a little, or at or just under half. So they hit me with the Brave Bird, and I'm going to come in with Greninja because they have no energy. And look at how much damage those Water Shurikens do. My opponent just quits. I think they had Jellicent in the back. What I think they did with that team was they swapped out the Mandibuzz for a Pidgeot. So, good game to my opponent, though. Interesting lead in the next match, we do have Alolan Sandslash. Now, for this particular lead, I swap out immediately because they will get to a drill run before I get to an overheat. So, I would prefer to put myself in a position where maybe I'm bringing out, Giratina or something. And they, they give me an opportunity to farm down with my Weezing, which is exactly what I'm looking for here. My opponent would really like to win switch advantage here, so I'm going to bait. We CMP here. Now, you've probably seen this team before. I'm kind of proud. I ran into my Legend team at least 3 or 4 times today. I'm like a proud dad of a team. Dragonflood is not taking me out. I'm going to reach for the payback, see if I can get there, but the opponent farms down and gets switch advantage, but I retain shield advantage. And if they're running Ancient Power, that's fine. Doesn't do a ton of damage. I'm going to be able to sit here and farm up to about 100 energy. I'm going to throw a Brutal Swing. But at that point, I've got so much extra energy that if that Sandslash comes back in, I'm hitting it with an Overheat immediately. And if I am correct in assuming that this is my team, then there might be a Clefable in the back. However, otherwise there could be, you know, a Jellicent or a Golisopod, Tapu Fini. All those things are very commonly cored with it. But here comes the Clefable, and I don't care if you're a fairy type. 2 shields is not gonna, a 2 shield deficit is going to just be too much for this Clefable. It's not going to be able to withstand the 2 Hydro Cannons. I will shield this even if it's a Meteor Mash bait. I don't care. I am going to go ahead and shield it because I don't want to risk them hitting me with a Moonblast. I'm going to over-farm by just a bit. My opponent trying to farm up as well. I'm hoping that this is going to now be enough to take out the Clefable, which it is. Clefable goes down, and I'm going to throw off this Hydro Cannon immediately. Not even going to try to over-farm here because that... the Alolan Sandslash, it's within 2-shot Hydro range, and I could easily just save the shield for Weezing and go for an overheat. So we're looking at a good game here. I'm going to go immediately for my Hydro Cannon and take out the Sandslash, and that's a good game. Greninja is a nasty little core breaker to my own team here, but well played to my opponent. So getting into this next game here, we've got Weezing versus Poliwrath. This normally would be a really good matchup, except my entire just bank of energy here. My charge moves are all walled, so I have really no good way to get rid of this Poliwrath. I can't come in with my Double or my Greninja because they'll get clobbered by counter. So this is one of those times where I really wish I had Play Rough. I ran into some Cresselia and Deoxys leads, and at that point I was like, dude, I really wish I had Breaking, or really wish I had Brutal Swing. So it's like they always end up coming up with the ones that you wish you had. And as soon as you change it, you start seeing stuff like this. So if I had Play Rough, and most people don't even respect the Play Rough, they just assume you have Brutal Swing, I would have been able to take out this Poliwrath. Now I'm going to go for an overheat here to try and chip this Muck down, and then I'm going to come in with my Double. And what I want to hope to try to do is somehow get the energy that I need to take out the Poliwrath after the fact. I'm hoping that I might be able to take this out, or like land a Hydro Cannon, just something. Now, I was looking to no-shield that. I thought it was just an Acid Spray. I think they did run up to the energy needed for a Dark Pulse here. And I'm put in a really awkward position because I need to get to a charge move against this Poliwrath. And it's not like I have anything that can safely just farm down this Muck, so I'm forced to shield here. But I'm going to over-farm as much as I can and go for the extra energy to get to more Body Slams here. Again, I'm really hoping that what I can do is try to get out of here with a Body Slam, right? So the Muck's left me low enough that the Poliwrath will easily just farm me down, but I want to get to this Body Slam, but instead I pivot, and I think that what I should have done was go for that Body Slam, because the opponent had no energy, and I'm going for a Brutal Swing here. I'm hoping that this gets that shield. It does. They come in with a Steelix, and I'm like almost going to try to reach for the overheat. Greninja's going to come in here. The opponent is going to go... They're going to keep farming, so I'm assuming at this point they've probably got Earthquake, so I only really have one option here, and in hindsight, I wish I had realized that during the game. I need to go for a Night Slash, farm down with the Double, and hit the Poliwrath with a Body Slam. However, spoiler alert, I completely don't do that and go for the Hydro Cannon instead for some reason, thinking that my Double would be able to get to a move against Poliwrath anyway. I'm instant switching, trying to go for that Body Slam. My opponent gets there at the same time as I do, and they're going to be able to take me out here. So very good game. I misplayed a couple of times, and there was a win condition in there for me, but I missed it quite a bit. So well played to my opponent, capitalizing on that, and good game to them. Galvantula on the lead once again. We're going to do the same thing as last time. Again, that's a consistency thing. Remember, I teach that to my students, and I also sometimes preach it here on the channel. If you find something that works, keep doing it. This person goes for the Discharge. I usually tank the first move, but I'm going to go up into the middle of their second Volt Switch, and then I'm going to throw the Brutal Swing and hope for a shield. My opponent does not bother to shield, so I'm going to go for another Brutal Swing right away. This will put the Galv low or get the shield that I was also hoping for. So it gets the shield, which is exactly what I wanted. And now I'm going to no shield. I'm just going to let it go. I'm like, okay, this person just threw their energy, and they're at the lunge, and I should have gone for an extra Brutal or an extra Fairy Wind there, but I missed it, and they get the second shield, which is fine. And now I'm going to come in with my Double, and I'm going to go for this Body Slam after they hit me with a lunge. I just want to get this thing out of here, right? So we're going to see what the opponent's got in the back. They're going to go ahead, and I throw with actually really, really bad timing here. I should have just thrown the one and let it go, but I was going for some extra energy because I knew that they needed 3 more to get to the move. So we go for the Body Slam. They come in with a Mandibuzz. I'm coming in with my Greninja, expecting them to have a Jellicent in the back, and the opponent concedes the match, and I'm assuming that that is exactly what was back there. So well played. Team reading. I see, as soon as I see that Galvantula, I just assume the back line is going to be Mandibuzz and Jellicent, and more often than not, I'm right. Another game where I wish I had Play Rough. Opponent goes for the Hydro Cannon. They're leading their Greninja, their brand new Greninja. I'm going to go for the Brutal Swing. I'm going to go for the Overheat, looking for that damage, and then I'm going to swap into my double. Sorry if that crackling had anything. My opponent shields it. They do respect the Play Rough, and then they catch a Body Slam on a Venusaur. I'm like, okay. Is this Venusaur double, or is this Greninja double grass? What is this? So I'm going to just keep playing here. I'm not sure what this team is. I'm just going to play the reactions here. I'm going to try my best to get some sort of an advantage somewhere. Right, that Greninja is dangerous, obviously. I know very well. I'm using it myself. So we're going to let the first Frenzy Plant go. I know that I outpace this Venusaur as long as I'm keeping track of their energy, which I'm doing my best to. They just got to another Frenzy Plant just now. I'm going to keep going for Body Slams here. I am happy to give up no shields here because this thing is so low and has no energy that even my Greninja could start to farm down, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I could come in with the Wheezing, but I feel like I want to get the energy on Greninja. I still have 2 shields. Their Greninja is not doing so hot. So we're going to see what they've got in the back, or they're going to come back with the Greninja. There's a Pidgeot in the back, and that is a very difficult thing to deal with. However, Greninja is so spammy. It gets the Pidgeot halfway down, and my opponent will be forced to shield this. And even if they throw Feather Dance after this, I'm fine with shielding this and going into the Wheezing right after. But my opponent stays with their energy, does not throw it, and I'm gonna shield up the Wheezing, and I'm gonna try and get the final shield or use up the entirety of my opponent's energy, which is what ends up happening here. I was gonna go for that Overheat, try and take him out, but now I know that since they have no energy left, I can go ahead and I can let this go. I just need to come out of this matchup with a Hydro Cannon loaded. So once we get down to the end of this matchup, I get 2 Hydro Cannons. That is definitely Hydro Cannon range. I'm going to throw a Hydro Cannon at the Pidgeot. We already saw how much damage it does. I'll be able to take out the Pidgeot, no problem. And that is going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Interesting team. I mean, it covers the fighting weakness and some of the charm weakness, so I like it. I don't hate it. I'm not a fan of Venusaur in the Ultra League, but I don't mind that team. It's actually not bad. So this is one of the times where I'm glad that I have Brutal Swing. There's a Cresselia in the league. Now, what's behind that Cresselia? I don't know. Usually Swampert is a good candidate to be behind Cresselia, as it's a good answer for Steel types like Registeel. So before my opponent can potentially hit me with a Future Sight, because that's usually what happens when I run my Wheezing, I only ever see the Future Sight Cresselias when I use it. So opponent's going to go for a Grass Knot. I'm assuming that they're... I don't know. I don't know. I would normally expect them to throw like Moonblast or something into me there. Hey, there goes some more of the foam. Yay! It's falling off the nails, man. I'm telling you. Gonna go for Body Slam here. Body Slam is that super quick neutral damage into that Swampert that I was just talking about. Like, it's funny how that just kind of popped up. If this person goes for Earthquake, so be it. But I think they're going to go for Hydro Cannon. No, the opponent goes for Earthquake and takes out my double. Good. I mean, that's a good call on their part. I'm trying to save those shields, and this is just a Hydro Cannon. My opponent goes for the energy way too soon. There goes some more of the foam. It's all falling down. I'm going to wake up tomorrow when it's all going to be on the ground. I guarantee it. I spent like an hour and a half putting this stuff up, man. Anyway, opponent's going to come in with a Cresselia. I'm going to go for this Brutal Swing, and everything now lies on Greninja's hands. I'm going to try my best to sweep with it. My opponent is getting pretty low here. I'm hoping they're going to go for another Grass Knot, because if they got Moonblast, that's also resistant, but we'll see. Opponent just goes for a Grass Knot. They think I'm low enough. I'm going for the Brutal Swing. I want to get that shield off of the opponent or take out their Cresselia, because Grass Knot is not something I want to deal with Greninja on, but my opponent is going to be able to get to a move here before I can, so I'm going to be forced to shield this up, and I'm going to try to overfarm just a little bit. Maybe they just threw all their energy. Nope, they had 2 Grass Knots rare and ready to go, so I don't know what's in the back, so I'm going to let this one go. It's a lot of damage, but I'm just going to try and overfarm a bit and see what they've got. I know that that was all their energy, because you can only have up to 2 Grass Knots. It's about 50 energy or so, I think. My opponent's got a Giratina in the bag, and they come in with it, and I get a boost, and I'm like, okay, we've got a chance here. Greninja going for the boost, gets the shield, gets another boost, dude. All the boosts, I didn't get a single boost outside of that one game. I just got all the boosts that I ever could have wanted in that one game. My opponent just immediately concedes. Well played. I'm so sorry for the boosts, but I had to get him in one game, I guess. Golisopod in this game here. Opponent safe swaps into Regirock, and I'm kind of making a suspect decision here. I should have probably come in with Greninja, but I did not want to fall for it. Double can still do fine here. The payback lands, does some damage. Shadow Regirock, if it has Focus Blast, this is going to hurt. So I'm going to have to find out what they've got as far as their charge move. Stone Edge is what comes out, and they're going to be able to actually outpace me. They get to their next move before I get to mine. And then I get to my moves every 9 turns. They get to a Stone Edge every 11. So I'm going to throw the Body Slam here, and I'm going to try to get it down into a range where if they shield like that, I can farm. Trying to go for that Body Slam, but unfortunately, they go for the move before I get to it. I'm going to let the double go down. We're going to farm down with the Wheezing, just trying to get that overheat energy up right before they get to their Stone Edge there. And I'm going to be able to overheat the Gliscor that has come in. I was expecting Golisopod, so this kind of makes things a little bit awkward. But I'm going to come in with Greninja now, get ahead on energy of the Golisopod, and I'm going to go for straight Night Slash here. And I can see now that I've seen how much damage the overheat does, my chances of winning are either going to rest in Greninja sweeping or with Wheezing finishing off the Golisopod afterwards. So just going to have to see what happens here. My opponent going for X Scissors with very good move timing here, and I'm going to be able to get to my next Night Slash before they fire off their X Scissor. They look like they're going to go for 2, so I'm going to go for the next Night Slash. My opponent throws 1 fast move and goes for theirs as well. Very nice timing there. I'm going to go for my Night Slash pretty much right off the bat here after 1 more fast move, because I know that they're going to need at least 2 more to get to their next charge move. So I'm going to go for the Night Slash and get their shield, and I'm going to try and catch that X Scissor, but unfortunately they once again throw with good timing, and I'm going to be forced to let my Greninja go down. And now we're going to have to leave it all up to the Wheezing, which is healthy. It's going to force the opponent to want to throw that Earthquake, and I'm not sure how much energy they have, but I'm going for the overheat, taking it out, and then I'm going to go for this Brutal Swing, but the opponent does not let me get to it. They decide that they're going to concede the match. So well played to my opponents today. Was having a great ton of fun. Had a 5-0 and then a 4-1 with Greninja in the Ultra League. I think it's the top tier anti-meta pick that I've wanted it to be for so long. So that's going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Check me out on Patreon and Metafy. And as usual, you guys have a wonderful. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.